Hello. I wanted to provide a video to talk about the elements of melody, the basic scales that are used most commonly in making melodies. Um, we there's the major scale, the minor scale. There's the chromatic scale, which gives you access to all 12 tones that can kind of take you outside into other worlds outside of the major or minor sound. There's the pentatonic scale, and there's the minor pentatonic scale, which is the blues scale. There's also all the jazz modes, but that's kind of a different level, a little bit of a different process of making melody, so we're not going to talk about those today. Maybe in the next level. But it's important to remember that this technical understanding of the scales, it's a tool and it's a reference, and it's feeling like you're empowered with knowledge is confidence building and can help you craft your melody. But the art of making melody, at least the seed of a melody, is usually an intuitive process. So it's really important not to let these technical details get in the way of your intuitive inspiration for melody, but they can help you develop maybe the seed of a melody that comes to you intuitively when you feel stuck in it or you're not quite sure where to take it. And then the other things we talked about is that in a melody is a combination of steps and leaps. A melody that's all steps is going to kind of feel tedious and like it's has a hard time going anywhere, and then a melody that's all leaps would sound super super disjointed and like there's nothing to hold on to. And when you break the octave, meaning if you have your first note do, and then the octave above, 8 notes above, is do. So when you break that octave above into the higher notes, then that's a really specific sound. It's a really expressive kind of a feeling when something goes high like that. It's usually kind of climactic or ethereal, depending on how it's expressed. And then it's also really common for the melody to go below the octave, usually in the form of sol, la, do. So since I'm getting into this stuff, let me go ahead and present the scales. So here's the major scale. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. So those are all the elements of the major scale. And sol, la, do is really common to use below, and then above, do, re, mi, re, do. But usually a melody, unless it's like really expressive and kind of ethereal and out there, isn't going to go above the mi, above do. But it depends on your melody. It's not a rule, just an observation. Okay, so that's do, and then if you go from la to la in the scale, which is the 6th degree to the 6th degree, so you'd have la, ti, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do, ti, la. And then if we express those in numbers or scale degrees, it would simply be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, nothing to be memorized, but just something to be familiar with because it'll come up again when we're talking about chord progressions and how chords work together, which is really exciting. Okay, so then you have the pentatonic scale is scale degrees 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6. So it leaves out the 4th degree and the 7th degree. So it would be do, re, mi, sol, la, sol, mi, re, do. Or if you started on the la and did the same notes, you would have La, Do, Re, Mi, So, Mi, Re, Do, La. And that is the basis of the blues scale. So do, 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 do. Or if I add some blue notes, do, 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 do. So if you add that one little blue note in the middle, you get the traditional blues scale. But it's based on da 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 da, the minor pentatonic. And then that brings up the issue of the chromatic scale, which is all 12 tones, which would be going up by half steps. So la, la, la. And for this one, I think I actually want to try to show you on the piano here, because you can really see. Here, let me flip my screen so I can see. Okay, so on the piano, you can really see the half steps, because that's the intervals that you see on the piano. So I'm starting on A here, and I'm gonna go la, 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 la. So those are all 12 tones that you can use. That's like the full palette. In other systems of music, like in Indian music and Eastern music, they use quarter tones, which is a whole nother story, and our ears aren't really conditioned to hear those. But when you hear that music, you certainly can feel that they're doing interesting things. So that's the basic building blocks of melody. We'll get more into what leaps mean, what steps and leaps means, and different intervals you can use. And we'll also talk about how the different scale degrees feel in a melody, which I think you're really going to enjoy. So practice those sounds, just kind of get them in your ear. Try to sing along with them. Don't worry too much about the technical understanding of them. And then just know that as you get those embodied in your ear, and your body and your soul, that they'll intuitively be expressed in your melodies. All right, enjoy.